Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. You made it. Yes, it is. It's Friday. And thanks so much for not piling on me yesterday. Still somewhat sick, but I thought today, because it really makes a difference. And I can explain more on how the tone of your morning sets your day. So stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it. And yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Friday, the 5th of December of 2025. So what are we talking about today? I'm talking about how important it is that the how you start your morning and the tone that you set will set the day. I'm telling you right now. I mean, this isn't rocket science, folks. Well, it could be for some. The problem I was having most of yesterday was I had forgot to take my night meds the night before, okay? So when I got up and I didn't sleep well, and it's because of certain medications were in there, and I couldn't figure out why, because I was up every hour, and then finally at 1 o'clock I stayed up. Okay, I said I've had enough. So that was already my tone for the day, right? I've had enough. So I got up, let the dogs out, did the business, and I come back and I'm sitting there trying to figure out sheep, why I'm feeling a certain way. Why am I off? And so that bugged me for a while. And then when it got to be around 3:30, I was like, I'm just going to take my morning meds and start getting ready for the videos and the posts and all this other stuff. And I really didn't feel like doing any of it. Okay. So when I went to take my morning meds, that's when I realized that I forgot to take my night meds. And that threw me for a loop. I mean, I do it once in a while. And if you're on meds too, you probably forget a dose here and there. But the last thing you want to do is double up and take both night and morning because you'd fall over like a toad. So I went ahead and I took my morning meds. And I knew that I didn't get the other meds that helped throughout the day in my system. But in the process of getting down on myself about forgetting to take my night meds rather, I forgot to do my reset. I forgot to name the 10 things or more that I'm grateful for. And how I set the day, the tone for the day, carried me through the whole day. It sucked. Totally sucked. And what do I mean by suck? I mean, I'm not going to try to persuade you over into God and everything else. I'm just going to tell you my rendition. Bear with me. All right? People ask me, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do we struggle a lot on certain areas? Why does God allow this? And I try to explain to others as well as myself that the first thing God gave us was precious, and that's life, okay? That's to be here to experience things, the good and the bad. That's the deal, okay? But the second thing that he gave us and gave me was choice. And what does choice do? Choice determines the direction that you're going to go, okay? God can't lead you down a path that keeps you out of harm's way all the time, right? Because he's not going to interfere with choice most often. If I decide that I'm going to drink alcohol a lot, that's a choice. You know, people will tell you it's not good for you, and it's not. But God is not going to stop you from drinking alcohol because he's allowed you choice. And in doing so, or drugs, or whatever vice you want to talk about, or anything else. But in the process of you taking and having that choice, you also have to get the repercussions or the benefits. And if you're doing something that's not good for your body or to other people, or you're going to pay either the consequences or the benefits. That's why we struggle, because God has allowed us to choose, right? And that's kind of the same way with doing the morning reset and being grateful for what you have, so that it kind of grounds you for the day. And you have a choice every step of the way of, do I do A, B, or C, right? Or D, which is nothing. Totally up to you. But yesterday, with not doing the reset and the 10 things or more that I'm grateful for, and focusing on what I hadn't done, which is choice, I forgot to take my meds, it just kind of threw me for a loop. And it was like pulling teeth all day long. No matter what we did, it was a grind. And even the poor dogs are like, what the hell? You know, because I'm grumpy, I'm bitchy, because I'm not in a good mood. But that's why I say that we have choice every morning. We can either focus on something that's going to piss us off or bother us or carry through all day long. Or we can say, you know what, today is a new day, do my reset, have my little cup of coffee or your tea, whatever floats your boat, right? And just sit and think of 10 things that you're grateful for. At least for me, that sets a tone. And that is a choice. We are making a choice of, we're going to do a reset, and we're not going to let yesterday and the day before flow into today. And we're going to pick out 10 things, and each of us is going to be different. 10 things that we're very grateful for. And that's going to ground us to the point of saying, you know what? We got it pretty good. Instead of bitching and complaining all day long and making the day miserable, we got it pretty good. And we're going to take it head on. Whatever comes our way today, we're going to do it. And if we're in a good state of mind, things go easier, right? If you're in a good mood, things don't bother you, right? And things seem to, your thought process is going better, and whether you're working on a small engine or you're working on a car or what have you, things click, things go along smoothly, okay? Whereas if we're not in a good mood, I mean, it's just like fighting. You're just trying to get through the day. Every second you can feel it. Yesterday we didn't decide. The day before I already told a customer I would pick up their snowblower. And when I got in yesterday morning to the shop, I had another customer call and have problems with their snowblower because we got 6-7 inches of snow. Which is great for us because we didn't hardly see a snowblower last year. We've already seen 3 this year. So we had the 2 to pick up. And I can see Claude pacing about, let's go get them. And it's 7:20 in the morning, and I'm thinking, one is probably not even out of bed yet, and I'm not calling her. And the other one is probably just getting up. And they're going to put their snowblower halfway down the hill. Fine and dandy. So we went to working on the 8N that we just put a whole new transmission in. It's a used one, but a new one. And so finally I give them a call, and the gal's still not up yet because it went to answering machine. And the other one I knew had the snowblower in the middle of their driveway. So I went up to hook onto the trailer, the small trailer. Well, it wasn't, you know, 5 or 6 inches of fluffy snow. It was heavy. And the last time we used the trailer, we had snow, sleet, everything else shooting off my brand new tires that got great tread. And filling that trailer with, on both sides, mounds of just encrusted ice. Try as I may, I couldn't lift that trailer. And you couldn't roll it, not with that weight. So I ended up going back down to the shop. Claude's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to get the small trailer on. It's too heavy just the way it is." And he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm getting a small snow, I guess they call them a broom, but it's got instead of the augers and stuff, it's got the rubber paddle things. Snow scoot, but it works pretty good. We've got it for sale if you need one." So I told him, I said, "I'm taking this up to snow blow the trailer off so that I can lift it." So he said, "Hold on, let's go up together." So we went up together, and it was that little bugger did good too. But the trailer, we couldn't get it to move, so I had to be spot on. Of course, by this time, I'm starting to get pissed because my day is not going well. I'm freezing my tushy off. I didn't do my reset, didn't do my gratitude, didn't do it, and it's just building. It's like Mount Vesuvius ready to erupt, the volcano. So after 4 or 5 front and back, Claude pulling ahead, backing up, bitching because he can't see out through the lens to see the trailer. My attitude and my demeanor and my everything is now affecting Claude. Claude is getting pissed because you can see I'm not a happy camper. I did not have a happy morning. And I'm not telling him about how the night before I forgot my meds and how I didn't do all my other stuff. I'm just in one of those moods, And it does happen like that. If you're in one of them moods, the people around you either will distance themselves or they will start feeding off from your mood and it will make them into even a worse mood, which in the end pisses you off even more, right? And that's what was happening is I'm lifting the trailer and he's backing up and I'm hollering whoa ho and everything else and he's not paying no attention. Where am I going with this? I'm going with how you set your morning will set the tone for the day. It really does. I've done my reset this morning. I've done my 10 plus things. I almost got to 15 this morning and what I'm grateful for. And yes, I did take my meds last night and I took them already this morning. And if you go compare yesterday's video with this morning's video, you'll notice a different demeanor, a different, what do they call it, facade, whatever you want to. But it's all in where you're coming from. See, a lot of people don't understand why they're stressed every day, and that's because they carry the stressors from the day before, the day before that, the day before that, and they just keep pulling them forward. And you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders when you do that. And again, I'm not trying to convert you or anything like that, but there's certain things that you were never meant to carry. The things that are out of your control. For me, God carries those. If there's nothing I can do about it, I have to give it up to Him and understand that there are going to be certain things that I don't have control over. That I just have to be a willing participant, per se, and see how it plays out. But that doesn't mean that you got to be stressed all the time, worried all the time, feeling alone all the time. Because you're not. You don't have to. Now, a quick retake on the comments and stuff, which is great. Thanks for commenting on yesterday's video, and sorry about it being so short, Mark. You know, Jason's right. If it's minor stuff, you don't want to sell a piece of crap. If it's a piece of crap, don't buy it in the first place. I buy late model. Stuff that I know that the customer is trading up because they've had it 10, 12 years and it's immaculate shape, or they've had it for 3 or 4 and they're moving, or they're going to a push mower, or they're changing up, okay? I don't buy crap usually on Facebook Marketplace and decide I'm going to try to fix it, because a lot of the stuff that is on Facebook Marketplace is crap, is somebody else's headache. You know, you hear about all these curb divers of how they make so much money off the curbs of people throwing stuff away. You still have your time, your fuel, your truck maintenance, trailer maintenance, everything else, driving around getting this crap. And then you got to have a place to pile this crap. As long as you're not going too far out of your way and you have a place to put the stuff, fine. But my best advice is don't buy crap. People bring their crap to us and give it to us. We don't buy crap. If it's parts machine, and this is something you have to do as a shop, whether you're buying used cars or buying used lawnmowers or buying used whatever, is you need to have some understanding of what are the costs involved to get that to where it needs to be. And then what is that machine worth on a good day? And if what it's worth on a good day far exceeds the parts that you need to put into it or the attention you need to give it, thumbs up. But if it's going to require a lot of work and you're working for nothing because all your time and everything, you're selling it at a loss, why are you buying it? I guess is what I'm saying. And a lot of times I buy in the fall when people either need extra money or this or that, and they're figuring, well, I don't need it all winter long anyways. And I end up having to sit on it all winter and then selling it in the spring, because you're not going to get good money for a mower in the fall of the year when people are putting their stuff away. But it's a buyer's market if people are looking at upgrading the following spring and they don't want to house that lawnmower for another year. And most of the stuff that I buy is always garage kept, looks nice, runs nice, and doesn't need a lot of maintenance to it. And in doing so, yes, you're going to have to cough up, pretty good chunk of change. But there's a pretty good chunk of change on the backside of it in the spring. On that note, you guys have a great Friday and a great weekend. I think I got the boys coming out tomorrow morning to hunt, because this is the last weekend. And we'll see how busy I am this weekend on videos. So other than that, you guys have a great Friday.